Ah, Blackwater. You want me to tell that story, huh? Fine. Sit down and listen. But know this, it ain't a tale with a happy ending. There was $150,000 in bank money sitting on that ferry. Easy money, just sitting there, waiting to be taken. I saw an opportunity. Micah, that snake, he kept whispering in my ear. Dutch, this is the job. This is what we need. Arthur and Hosea, they weren't there. They would have hesitated, tried to talk me out of it. But the rest of the gang, we went ahead with it. At first, everything was going fine. Javier even said, we got to the money real easy. And he was right. It was going smooth, until it wasn't. Because then the damn Pinkertons showed up. They brought the law with them. Swarmed the place like hornets. Suddenly, we were in a fight we couldn't win. And that girl, Heidi McCourt, I still see her face. She reached for something. I swear it. She was gonna pull a gun. So I did what I had to do. I pulled the trigger. Micah! Oh, he was right there, grinning. That's leadership, Dutch, he said. And what did the world say? That I was a cold-blooded killer. That I murdered an innocent woman. No one ever asks, what would have happened if I hadn't pulled that trigger? That whole fight was a disaster. Mac and Davy Callender, both shot. Davy held on long enough to escape with us, but he didn't make it. Jenny, she was killed outright. Sean, poor kid, got himself captured. John took a bullet in the arm and Charles burned his hand, could barely shoot, but he still took care of our horses. Always reliable, that one. We had no choice but to run. Couldn't take the money with us. $150,000 just left behind in Blackwater. But you know what? Only me and Hosea knew where we stashed it. Even the Pinkertons couldn't find it. And that town, it never recovered. People still dig up backyards looking for that treasure. Fools. And us, we ran north into the Ambarino Mountain, found ourselves a place to hide in an old town called Coulter. But the gang was broken. Morale was in the dirt. Hosea and Arthur, they blamed Micah, said he pushed me into it. And maybe they were right, but I saw an opportunity. What was I supposed to do? Then came St. Denis, that godforsaken city. That job was worse than Blackwater. Worse, we lost Hosea, we lost Lenny, and Arthur. Arthur turned to me and said, Dutch, how do you think the Pinkertons found us in Blackwater? And for the first time, I started to wonder. But a leader doesn't doubt himself. A leader pushes forward. In the end, Micah turned out to be a snake. He had been working with the Pinkertons, but I realized it too late. By then, Arthur and I had already drawn our guns on each other. My family, my gang, it was nothing but a lie. In his final moments, Arthur said something to me.
I gave you all I had. I did.
And I had nothing to say. Eventually, when I reached the cabin where Micah was hiding, John was there too. That boy, I had raised him from nothing. But now, he stood before me, his gun aimed at Micah.
Dutch, killing me won't solve nothing.
Put down your gun, master!
Say something, Dutch. Say something! I ain't got too much to say no more.
Something inside me broke at that moment. I fired a bullet at that bastard and walked away. Years passed. They took the money, but I didn't care about the money. I had lost my way. Everything I once believed in, everything I once stood for had crumbled. The Van der Linde gang was no more. I was alone. And then years later, John Marston stood before me again. I knew it. I knew this had to end. I expected him to point his gun at me, but I wasn't going to let him be the one to end it. As I reached the edge of that cliff, I turned to look at him one last time, and I let myself go.